Hello everyone, मेरा नाम Karma हो
र मेरो नाम चाहिँ स्मृति
and welcome to our Aja
पर्सी
Parsi podcast.
पडकास्ट
Yay!
ये
Okay, so today we're gonna talk about something that we both enjoy doing, and
Mhm,
that is reading books.
mhm. Yeah,
So first of all, I'll ask you, Smriti,
okay.
are you reading something currently?
um मैले चाहिँ भर्खरै गुड नाइट टोकियो भन्ने किताब पढेर सकाएँ few hours ago
Mm-hmm.
अनि that was the last book that I read. There simultaneously I was also reading Sophie's World भन्ने किताब अनि त्यो चाहिँ it's more philosophical whereas Good Night Tokyo चाहिँ हल्का fiction थियो
Mm.
अनि yeah, that's the last book that I read. I plan to continue Sophie's World अनि मलाई चाहिँ एकैचोटि दुई तिनवटा किताब पढ्नु मन लाग्छ कि सो त्यही भएर
Oh,
चाहिँ
okay.
I'm thinking probably something shorter because Sophie's World चाहिँ is kind of long so त्यही भएर अर्को एउटा चाहिँ start गर्छु होला फेरि म. What about you?
So I've been reading this book called Remains of the Day. It's by Kazuo Ishiguro.
Mhm.
अनि मैले धेरै लामो भइसक्यो यो किताब पढेको but I think I only have 20 to 30 pages left,
Mhm.
so I'm almost done with it. I like it so far. I think firstमा चाहिँ अलिअलि बोरिङ थियो
Mhm.
but then अहिले चाहिँ अलिकति things are like getting better.
Yeah, it's always
So
nice, when like things start progressing in a book.
yeah, I think it's kind of hard to like continue, okay, when you get
Mhm.
bored at first,
Mhm.
but sometimes you need
I
to
know
get to the
because there was one मेरो father जोमन भन्ने हुनुहुन्थ्यो कि एकजना अनि one thing that he had said really stuck मेरो दिमागमा that's like read 50 pages सम्म चाहिँ पढ अरे के किताब just to um
oh
make sure कि you really like reading the book, you really like continue reading the flow of the book, at least 50 pages per day if it's a long book, of course, I know, and then decide if you want to
want to
continue
continue.
reading or
I
not
agree,
भनेर के.
yeah, I
So
agree.
yeah, I think जहिले पढ्दाखेरि चाहिँ I've always kept that in mind, at least 50
mm,
pages I'm going to read it and then decide later on भनेर
if you
के.
want to continue or
Yeah,
not, yeah,
yeah,
that is a good advice actually.
I know, right?
So
Well, I have a question.
you have a
What, yeah,
question?
what's your
Okay,
favorite genre of like book?
favorite genre?
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh, favorite genre. I mean, you know me, so you know a lot that I mostly only read fiction,
Mm-hmm.
but fiction
Mm-hmm.
भित्र पनि I feel like there are a lot of genres,
Different.
and
Uh-huh.
yeah, so I just like I don't know, I'm not a huge fan of sci-fi and all that.
Mm-hmm. Me neither, I guess.
Yeah.
Mm.
So like a good fictional I mostly like books that are character driven, okay, more than plot
Mm.
driven.
Mm.
So when writers like flesh out their characters,
Mm-hmm.
I really like that. Okay, I want to know the character more than I think that that's more important for me, say.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, like just fiction. I only read fiction. I think I've only read like one or two, maybe
Non.
two or three non-fiction books.
Oh
What about you?
wow.
What about
Oh
you?
wow. I mean, Mirut's, I think it's completely opposite. I used to read fiction. म पहिला when I was like during my high school मा हुँदाखेरि चाहिँ मैले fiction पढ्थेँ. But then once I started my undergrad program, because my field was social work and I was very much interested in politics and social sciences and everything. So मेरो interest चाहिँ एकदमै नै नन फिक्सनमा शिफ्ट भयो क्या. I started reading a lot of non-fiction after that,
Oh,
which is why that has stayed with me. I read a lot of non-fiction अनि that's my favorite genre नै. अनि एउटा मलाई पढ्नु मन नलाग्ने genre भनेको चाहिँ self help हो.
oh, I
I
agree. I
I I
agree.
really
Yeah,
don't
yeah,
like reading self help books.
yeah.
I feel like they're too corny for some reason. I don't
No, I
know.
think it depends. Some मैले सुनेको, I personally never read self-help books.
Mhm, mhm.
So because most of the things that they have on self-help books are so like those things you can easily find on YouTube and stuff.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Okay.
Maybe they don't have a plot, or I don't know. I don't find it substantial for some
I
reason.
agree. I agree.
So,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
मैले ikigai and subtle art of not giving a fuck and अरू अरू किताबहरू पनि I just don't remember because I did not read it because I liked reading it, I know, so याद पनि छैन. But then I've read couple of like self-help books which I did not like at all. So
Oh,
like not very much into self-help. भनौँ न.
yeah, yeah. Tuesday, I agree with you. I'm
Yeah.
also not into self-help
But then like
books.
when did you start reading? Like how long has it been that you've started
Oh my
reading?
god. When did I start? Reading the book we read when we were young because I
I
mean
mean, like that, sorry to cut you off there, that time, like where did your love for reading
started.
start? When, where,
Um,
Banum na?
so I think one of the biggest influence say was my
Mm-hmm.
brother Vanum. He is a avid reader,
Mm-hmm.
so of a someone who's bigger than you, who's
Mm-hmm.
always around you. It does
Mm-hmm.
this thing, and you're also very influenced by it.
Mm-hmm.
I remember I used to read a lot of magazines and all that.
Me
I
too,
know.
actually. Uh-huh.
We used to have the Nepali magazine Way Boy when you remember.
I know
Yeah,
त्यो साप्ताहिकहरू पनि
yeah,
म
yeah,
त
yeah.
पत्रिकाहरू पनि पढ्थेँ कि. I really enjoyed reading.
पत्रिकाको चाहिँ always used to read the celebrity columnहरू
Oh,
लास्टमा भएको
I
horoscopeहरू.
know.
I
Uh-huh.
was more interested in that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
अनि I used to read Archie comic
Mm-hmm.
booksहरू and then
Do you know Reader's
Tinkle.
Digest?
Yeah,
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 of course.
yeah,
Oh,
yeah, yeah,
wow.
yeah. I used to read that
Mm-hmm.
also.
Me
And
too.
do you have you read Tinkle comic booksहरू?
I don't think I have.
So त्यो चाहिँ
Mm-hmm.
मजाको थियो कि I think that was त्यो Indian हो जस्तो लाग्यो
Mm-hmm.
अनि I used to read that a lot. And this was just like slowly I moved on to short stories or do bio
Mm-hmm.
and this was novels and
Mm-hmm.
then it's just but let's say I used to read whatever my brother used to read and
Mm-hmm.
then say I also used to go to bookstores and be like okay this looks interesting
Uh-huh.
I'll read it
So it grew on
भन्दै
you.
so it grew on me yeah
Mm-hmm.
that's how it happened what about you
I think mirror case mansa, I do not exactly remember why I started reading. I just loved reading. I
mm-hmm.
think it came as a very second nature to me. The fact that I enjoyed reading manera. I was a very studious kid, but apart from that, I remember reading Princess Diaries like when I was म 13-14
I've
वर्षको
read that too
हुँदा.
yeah
या
I love that
त्यो
book
टिचरहरूले पढाइराख्नुहुन्थ्यो नि, हामी चाहिँ किताब तल राखेर पढ्थ्यो कि, because it was not allowed to,
oh
you were not allowed to study like other books तिम्रो क्लासमा नि
yeah
त.
yeah
So
yeah
हामी चाहिँ तल राखेर पढ्थ्यो कि. So I think I was 13 when my reading journey started. त्यस पछाडि चाहिँ अब लाइब्रेरी क्लास हुन्थ्यो कि हाम्रो. अनि we were allowed to take books home पनि. अनि chicken soup for the
oh yeah
soul
yeah yeah
अनि
yeah
like all these very teen
therapeutic
books,
type
yeah,
uh
that I read, and it grew on me. After that I was into fiction. त्यसरी नै अनि पछि again like non-fiction. So that is how it grew on
oh
me चाहिँ.
do you have a favorite book or is that too
Uh,
hard too hard to pick
I don't think I have a favorite book. But then I really like reading books based on South Asian like culture or context or politics के मलाई एकदमै नै मनपर्छ.
mm.
जस्तै मैले एउटा लज्जा भन्ने किताब पढेको थिएँ कि. अनि आई थिङ्क त्यो चाहिँ um, I do not want to like
Yeah, don't
butcher
spoil.
what that
Yeah,
is
yeah, yeah,
about,
yeah.
but then I don't remember it clearly. But then एकदमै यो Asian culture and context भएको
Oh,
किताबहरू चाहिँ from like Bangladesh, Pakistan अनि India, like यिनीहरूमा
I
भएको
agree. I
warहरू and
agree.
everything. So यो किताबहरू चाहिँ they just feel home to me for some reason.
Because it's
It's
relatable.
relatable.
Yeah.
So त्यही भएर चाहिँ त्यस्तो किताबहरू चाहिँ मलाई मनपर्छ. अनि अब त्यस्तो फेभरेट बुक भनेर चाहिँ छैन, तर one book that I don't remember the entire context, but I would definitely recommend everyone to read चाहिँ The Road Less Traveled भन्ने किताब हो by M. Scott Peck.
Okay.
It's a very good book. It's mainly psychological and also very के भन्ने, it's a not a self help, but then it has a lot of like things that you can take away from that book, which is why I would recommend that book. Ani about politics tira ho भने चाहिँ there's a difference of local politics as in Nepali politics र अब world politics मा different हुन्छ. तर नेपाली politics को लागि भनेर चाहिँ मैले oh my god, the Nepal Nexus भन्ने सुधीर शर्माको किताब पढेको थिएँ. I mean I've read a lot others, but then the one that I can think right away would be that. So that's an interesting read. So there's a lot actually. I cannot pick. Sorry, what about you?
Oh, yeah, I know I asked you that question, but I can't pick one. I'm just let me think. I thought
Yeah.
so hard.
I know it's very, it's like asking you to pick your favorite child if you're like a parent
Yeah,
and you
yeah,
cannot even
yeah.
decide.
It's really hard, and I can't even remember. Suddenly, I've
A blank.
lost. Yeah.
I know. Oh, well, sorry. While you're thinking, I just want to add.
Hmm.
I also enjoy reading Murakami a lot. So Kafka on the Shore bane kitab यदि तपाईहरुले पढ्नु भएको छैन भने please पढ्नु होला. It's a very good book. Ani, I don't want to say more about it, but
I'm reading that book.
you
I
are
mean,
reading.
I was reading,
What happened?
and then I stopped reading
You should
it.
actually
Yeah, I need to
continue reading it.
continue
It's
reading
really
it.
nice. But yeah,
Okay,
what
okay.
about your favorite book?
The book that I can think of,
Mhm.
it's Maps for Lost Lovers. Funny, I mentioned that I think to
Mhm.
you. It's by Nadim Aslam.
Oh, I. Mhm.
Yeah, everyone needs everyone needs to read that book. It is so beautiful. The writers he has, the way he writes is
Mhm.
और कहिए,
Mhm.
so he writes very poetically, first
Mhm.
mata, but it never gets boring. Okay?
Mhm.
Sometimes when you're reading a book and the writer goes around something, it
Mhm.
gets draining and then
Mhm.
boring. But it's never like that with this writer. And the
Mhm.
story is about immigrant family from
Mm.
Pakistan living in England. Okay? And it's
Mm.
always nice to see that perspective, especially तिमीले भने नि how you like South Asian writers
Mhm.
because you can relate. It's the
Mhm.
same with this book, and
Mhm.
it goes into different. I mean, they talk about religion,
Mhm.
loneliness, love, oppression, and all that stuff. So yeah, please read that book, everyone.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I do like that. But when you mentioned dun sa ni kuning kitab, it's ali boring and draining unsa banera. One of the things that I want to discuss is reading slump. Like, have
Oh.
you ever had that? If so, like, for how long have you had that? And like, how did you get out of it if you did?
Yeah, I think everyone goes through that, right?
Yeah, it's
Everyone
so
who
natural,
reads.
I
Oh,
think.
yeah. It gets boring. Like
Mm-hmm.
sometimes you can't even finish Yoda page. You keep going through that page
I
over and
know.
over again, but nothing gets inside your
I
head. That
know.
happens a lot. Yeah,
And I think that's
I
so
think
natural, eh?
it is not
Because,
because I know you wanted to say
sorry, go ahead.
something.
Yeah, you can go
Yeah,
ahead.
because especially when you have so many things on your mind, you have so many things to do.
Mm-hmm.
You have work, you have assignment, and
Mm-hmm.
you have of a million things to take
Mm-hmm.
care of. Reading doesn't fit in here sometimes
Yeah.
when your mind is like chaotic and all
Mm-hmm.
that. So reading is something you can only do when you're okay at peace. I feel like for me,
Mm.
say. So I feel that's why when life got too busy, I think I stopped just caring about
Oh.
reading.
Oh.
I don't know how long, maybe for a year. Is
Okay.
that long?
I don't think so because I think it's longer for me. But तिमीले भन्यो नि तिमीलाई चाहिँ एकदम पिसमा किताब पढ्नु मन लाग्छ भनेर.
Uh,
Well, I am again I think very opposite. म चाहिँ एकदमै नै हसल बसल हुँदाखेरि चाहिँ मलाई एकदमै नै झन् किताब पढ्नु पर्ने हुन्छ कि I
really?
really like the rush of it. अनि
Oh,
अब जस्तै कि I can read anywhere like even if there's like there are like hundred of people like even if I'm in a crowd even if I'm in like anywhere where there's too much noise I can just be very focused and
I think
read.
some people are
Yeah.
more focused.
Yeah, I am like very much into reading, but then reading slump ko barema kura गर्दाखेरि चाहिँ after I came here United States मा त्योभन्दा अगाडि त I used to read a lot, but after I came here it's really like you said um assignments, work and everything. But beside that just not having the motivation to read त्यो नै थिएन to be very honest and um like I tried but still I could not to the point where it made me feel like am I doing anything wrong? Like, did I actually like reading or not? And sini, ani, like all these questions. I was like
yeah.
beating myself up for it because that's something that I enjoyed doing it so much, Nita.
Yeah, that's the thing. I get
अनि
it.
त्यो गर्नु
Yeah.
नसक्दाखेरि चाहिँ ल लाइक do I really like reading and
Mm.
everything भन्ने त्यो question चाहिँ definitely आएको थियो कि but then I think it's a process and how you get out of it, or how it happened for me, is you accept the fact that it can sometimes get boring, and you just have to, like, maybe uh, what I tried is shorter books or
Yeah,
parneoki,
that's the number one thing.
or like, maybe if you are reading a certain genre, then arco genre must shift karneoki. So there's different ways that you can
Yeah,
start,
yeah, I
and I think
agree.
that is like how I did. And now I think I'm back from the reading slump. I really enjoy reading again,
Mm-hmm.
and yeah, it's beautiful, I think.
It is. It's also a habit.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes,
It
I mean,
is.
I know, you can't like push yourself to study one it up, but
Mm-hmm.
sometimes you have to, right? So, yeah, even if it's just one page,
Mm-hmm.
maybe you like 15 minutes,
Mm-hmm.
15
Mm-hmm.
minutes of your day, you
Mm-hmm.
separate that, and then you take that time to
Mm-hmm.
read.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah,
I agree. I agree. Well, okay, so I have something else that I really do want to ask. Um, so like, I mean, we've talked about our love for reading, but like, why do you want to read? As in, like, what do you think is the significance of reading, or how do you think it changes your life? I know
that's a
this is a very
huge
big
thing.
question,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, how it
but
changes my life
mm-hmm,
suddenly.
I know.
Sorry, guys, I just like fictions. I don't think it changes my life.
I mean, fictions do change your life.
Yeah, it does.
It
To be honest, it
does.
does.
These
Yeah,
are stories, and stories are beautiful if you
it
reflect on it.
is.
Yeah,
So I
but
would say, for me personally, to my experience with
mm-hmm,
reading books, say why I like character-driven like stories or and books or one there is that you really get to know this character. Again, I don't think in our life we ever get to know someone like that except for ourselves. Nita. So reading, say it gives me that opportunity, Vanumna, to
mm-hmm.
really know someone, and I think that is so fascinating because in a way I'm also kind of, I don't know, like
A
writer.
cat.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
writer environment. I feel like I'm is I don't know if that's accurate or not. I know,
Mm-hmm.
but the way a writer writes also sometimes you can
Mm-hmm.
tell like how a writer is, okay, by the way they write and all
Yeah,
that.
definitely.
Yeah. So for me, say I think it's mostly the way the character like does things and all that.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you get to learn so many new things, and
Mm-hmm.
it's always interesting.
I know, right? Well, I think this is a too big question if I think about it, eh? Um, what do you think is the significance of reading Manda Felice? For me, because I got into nonfiction and I've been into nonfiction, I think it has helped me form opinions, like very high political opinions. Like, I'm a very
uh,
opinionated person. I have like a lot of opinion on everything. Ani, I it has made me look at things from multidimensional perspective. That is the
yeah.
beauty of reading. It opens like a lot of different avenues. You, like you said, characters and stories. You understand so much. Unse ni kitab
I think human
padera.
nature,
It's
yeah.
very, I have like a very inquisitive nature, so like reading fulfills that nature that I have, like helps with that. Ani, it's an experiment too for me personally, because I read this book by Yuval Noah Harari, Sapiens ba Nikita
Oh
Porikotie,
yeah,
and I was like very much into religion, because before that I was like homeschooled to study this Bible. I had like Bible sessions karma, and I was very much into like religion
religion.
at that time. But then like I read no Yuval Noah Harari ko, I read Sapiens, and then I was, am I an
Oh, so it
atheist?
changed
It
your
changed. So it's an
perspective.
experiment for me. Okay, this was how again I got into religion because I was reading a lot about like religion, especially Malaysia ekdam नै यो Islam को बारेमा चाहिँ एकदम थाहा पाउन मन लागिरहेको थियो. So along with like non-fiction मा नि अब कति धेरै categories हुन्छ नि त. So like besides politics, I enjoy reading religion अनि psychology and these kind of like philosophy हुन्छ नि.
Mm,
अनि त्यही uh, to me, it's, I think it's very important because it's my identity, and it's I would not attach myself to it, but it definitely has sharpened my personality. So I think
you owe
it,
it.
yeah, like it's very significant to me, but it
Yeah,
it's malay to
yeah.
laksa. So there.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And then what else?
I don't know. So maybe like we can ask the audience, like whoever will be listening to us, to
Yeah, please. Actually, I need some book
me too.
recommendations. We need some book recommendations. If you guys
Mhm.
have any books that you think we should read, or
Mhm.
you can just tell us about your favorite books also.
Yeah,
Yeah.
or maybe like how has reading Unsani changed your life? If it has, it would be a very good conversation
Yeah,
to like
yeah. I would
talk.
like to hear other school journey with reading,
Mhm.
how it has shaped them. That would be
Yeah.
interesting to
I
hear,
mean, we're
right?
just two book lovers, but there's millions of us out there,
Yeah, yeah,
so we would
yeah.
really love to connect.
Yeah, please. Oh, yeah.
I think as a Kamru podcast say itini une wala tha, talking about books because we really wanted to talk about something that we enjoy
Yeah, but
doing.
we also wanted to keep it short.
Mm-hmm.
So let us know if you guys enjoy listening to this, and if you have
Feedback.
any feedback, any constructive criticism.
Mm-hmm.
We really appreciate it.
Yep.
And thank you if you listen
Thank
to us.
you. Bye.
Bye.